Sanwo-Olu presides over State Executive Council meeting. Police arrest about 30 protesters for waving Russian flags as military talks tough. On the foreign scene, United States President Joe Biden meets national security team as fears of Iran attack on Israel grows. And in sport, Favor Ofili finds form. Oborodudu falls short, fights for bronze at Paris 2024. Now the detail. Has presided over the State Executive Council meeting at the Lagos House in Alausa with the Deputy Governor and other EXCO members in attendance. Also, work activities were in top gear at the State Secretariat where workers trooped out in large numbers to go about their daily activities. While briefing newsmen at the Lagos House, Alausa, Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Motosho, commended Lagos residents for being peaceful in the course of the protest and urged everyone to go about their duties and activities without any fear or intimidation.
All is well in Lagos, shall continue to be well. All the services we are rendering in the civil service, we continue to render without any problem. All Lagosians to continue to open their businesses, go about their businesses without any form of fear, of any harassment, or of any intimidation by everybody. Lagosians have chosen to be peaceful, they have chosen to shun anarchy, they have chosen to embrace good governance.
Amotosho noted that through the 3 telephone numbers rolled out by the state government for further engagement, over 1,000 phone calls have been received in the last 24 hours. A development he noted shows Lagosians are ready to embrace dialogue. The government lines are 0802 522 4347, 0811 965 5788, and 0707 717 8295. The Commissioner for Information and Strategy reiterated the commitment of the Sanwo-Olu administration to improving the overall well-being of residents in line with its Themes Plus development agenda. The Lagos State government has concluded plans to engage stakeholders in the built in return best practice. The General Manager, Lagos State Building Control Agency, LAPS, Bolahon Oki, who made this known, said the agency will engage stakeholders to bring together professionals, professional bodies, regulatory property developers, chairmen, community leaders, market men, institutions, among others. Oki noted stakeholders such as artisans, developers, local government chairmen, community leaders, and professionals are closer to the people. He said it is important to continually educate and enlighten them on the best ways and manners to utilize the environment, obey building codes, regulations, and shun the practice of jumping approval processes in the building construction industry. The Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Oluyinka Olumide, has visited the catchment areas of the Badagry sub-region ahead of the final stakeholders meeting on the review of the plan, coming up on Thursday at Buba Marwa Auditorium, Lagos State University, Ojo. Olumide, who was accompanied by the Permanent Secretary, Office of Physical Planning, Oluwole Shotire, and some management staff of the ministry, said that the main purpose of the visit was to have first-hand information about the action areas and other proposals in the reviewed Badagry sub-region master plan, and also encourage stakeholders in the region to participate actively in the upcoming stakeholders meeting. He said that stakeholders' engagement is an integral part of the plan preparation process in Lagos State, as well as an avenue to promote inclusiveness and ownership. And on to the rest of the stories. Operatives of the Nigeria Police Force have arrested no fewer than 30 #EndBadGovernance protesters for waving Russian flags in Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, and Bauchi states. The force spokesperson, Muyiwa Adejobi, said 873 other protesters have been arrested by the police, including a tailor identified as Ahmed Bello, who was arrested with a large number of flags in Kano. This comes as President Bola Tinubu directed security agencies to crack down on those flying Russian flags in the country. The Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, said this while briefing State House correspondents after the National Security Council meeting. All the service chiefs, including Vice President Kashim Shatima, Nuhu Ribadu, National Security Advisor, and Kayode Egbetoku, Inspector General of Police, attended the meeting. He said the chiefs briefed the president on the current security situation in the country. Musa added that the briefing was necessitated by the ongoing nationwide protests, which resulted into violence in some states. The federal government has concluded plans to sell a 50-kilogram bag of rice at 40,000 naira to public servants with a view to alleviating the food crisis in the nation and its effects on Nigerians. The Federal Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs made this known in a statement signed by the Director of Human Resources of the ministry, Jayesimi Abimbola. The statement says all interested staff members are to complete a Google form on the OHCSF website and submit it to the Director of Human Resources for endorsement. It notes that payment for and the distribution of the rice would be coordinated by designated officers, while the Chairman, Joint Union Council of the Ministry, will serve as an observer for transparency reasons in the course of the exercise. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said the initiative is one of the several initiatives by the President Bola Tinubu administration to ease living conditions for citizens. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says about 177,914 voters will be added to the list of eligible voters for the off-cycle governorship elections in Edo and Ondo states later in the year. A figure released by the Commission showed about 92,000 out of 269,992 citizens that showed up for the exercise did not meet the requirements for registration during the exercise and were screened out of the register. The statement signed by the National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumekun, said the figure did not include 8,847 applications for transfer into Edo State and 3,132 into Ondo State from other states because they are already part of the voters' register. Before the continuous voter registration, which ended on June 9, ahead of the elections in the two states, there were over 2.5 million registered voters in Edo State, out of which 2,128,288 collected their PVCs. Now to foreign news. United States President Joe Biden has met his senior national security team as concerns of a possible Iranian retaliatory attack on Israel grows. Biden says he had been briefed on preparations to support Israel should it be attacked, while Secretary of State Antony Blinken said officials were working around the clock to prevent an escalation. Tensions have risen over the last week following the assassination of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh, for which Iran has blamed Israel and vowed severe retaliation. A joint statement from the G7 also expressed deep concern at the heightened level of tension in the Middle East, which threatens to ignite a broader conflict in the region. Talks that had brought renewed hope of a ceasefire deal to end the conflict in Gaza have faltered following the events of recent weeks. Israel has not commented on the assassination, but Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said afterwards that Israel had delivered crushing blows to Iran's proxy groups in recent days. In our sport, Team Nigeria has mixed emotions at the Paris Olympic Games as Blessing Obarodudu had a good run but fell short in wrestling, while Favor Ofili impressed again and now has a shot at gold in the women's 200 meters. 2020 Tokyo Games silver medalist Blessing Oborodudu had a busy day in the 68 kilograms freestyle wrestling event with 3 fights within a 6-hour time span. She had to come from behind in her opening round win over Linda Moraes, eventually dismissing the Canadian 8-2. On the tracks, Favor Ofili comfortably qualified for the finals of the women's 200 meters with another personal season best time of 22.05 seconds, second behind 100 meters winner Julian Alfred. Also, 400 meters hurdler Ezekiel Nathaniel also placed second in his first round heat 4 race with a time of 48.38 seconds to reach the semi-finals. It's another packed day of action today in athletics for Team Nigeria. The trio of Ruth Osoro, Christina Ochonogo, and medal hopeful Esebrume are in action in the long jump qualifying round, while Ofili Favor goes for a medal in the women's 200 meters finals. And that ends our news at 10. Just before we go, slow down at road junctions, intersections, and pedestrian crossings. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration initiated 500 hectares rice farm technology intervention project? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has presided over the State Executive Council meeting at the Lagos House at Alausa with the Deputy Governor and other EXCO members in attendance. Operatives of the Nigeria Police Force have arrested no fewer than 30 #EndBad Governance protesters for waving Russian flags in Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, and Bauchi states. Also told you that United States President Joe Biden has met his senior national security team as concerns of a possible Iranian retaliatory attack on Israel grows. And in sport, Team Nigeria had mixed emotions at the Paris Olympic Games as Blessing Oborodudu had a good run but fell short in wrestling, while Favor Ofili impressed again and now has a shot at gold in the women's 200 meters. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That is news broadcast compiled by Kayode Mafolashiri. I'm Dele Agadumo. Good morning. Thank you for listening.